Now we are starting the demonstration of Scholas's online ERP. Once the desktop version is installed on your client machine, you will be getting a shortcut of this kind. The user will have to put their login ID and password. Once the password is put, then click on login. The software operational interface will be opened. Now we are at the fees collection window. This is the place where the cashiers or the accountant collect the fees from the parent or the children. Here comes the receipt number, which is automatically generated. The receipt date comes over here. The fees group. If you wish to select bus fees or transport fees separately and the other school fees separately, you can select it separately. If you select only school fees and the transport fees, this way you can select the which type of fees you want to select. By default, all are selected. Now this location, from which location this fees is being collected at. Some schools have got the city officers, others have got collection centers, or if you are collecting the primary fees at the high secondary fees of the primary school, then this location can be used for to indicate which location you are collecting the fees at. Then if you are to say the send SMS means on submission, if you wish to deliver a message on parent's mobile number, this can be checked and unchecked. By default, whether it is to be sent or not, that is also a separate option where you can define it. Now, by default, it is not set. So, if you wish to forcefully send a message, you can opt to send from there. Now, to send, select a student who is remitting the fees. The parent, either you can select someone's name, or by the scholar number if it is 101550. Then what we can do is uh, 101150. If you wish to enter the scholar number this way, simply by typing the scholar number also you can select the child. The other options are, you can open this window. Here you can find any information like the scholar number. If you wish to find a child by the roll number, if you want to group it by class or section from which class this particular child belongs to. Sometimes if the driver is sent to pay the fees and the driver forgot the child's name, you can find it by the father's name also. If some Ajay, Rathore or someone, you can straight away type the father's name, and by that name you can select a particular child and the fees can be collected on this. So out of any information which relate to that particular child, you can select a particular child. It is not that you always have the name or particular scholar number or this particular, without this information you cannot access that window. It is not like that. Either out of any information you can select a particular child, and that particular child's complete fee structure, the due amount by default gets loaded on the screen. So if the parent is paying the complete due amount, the collection person has to just click on this add button, a receipt is generated and your work is done. Otherwise, sometimes the parent may say that we will just pay the first installment or the second installment or the third installment. Now I will pay, remaining two installments I will be paying afterwards. So you can select it by installment wise also, or if they are saying that okay, now I have only 50,000 rupees, the remaining will be paying later. So see, the system has now rounded the amount to 50,000, out of which 250 rupees late fee is also calculated. This late fee definition is also customizable because schools can define according to the requirement. Now the mode of collections, you can have the card, cash, POS machines, or NEFT, whichever the multiple banks, any option you can select through which the payment is collected. Now, how this late fee, once it is done, now to this, the next tab is the complete fees dues information. Here you can see for this particular child, these are all the fees. If there is any concessions given, that also is listed over here. What is the total amount remaining? If some amount is already received, that is shown here under the yellow colored amount shows the received amount, and the other amount shows the due amount. This way, on the same screen, you can have the complete information. If there is a fees already paid and the parent wants to have a duplicate receipt generated, you can just double click over here and take a receipt of printout of that. Or sometimes the parents forgot that I have paid on this date, or they say by mistake, we have paid two installments. Your is not correct. So on the same window, you can have the particular student's complete fees information. That's what this fees collection modules refers to. Now, when you click on add button, the bank's details is required here. What all are the compulsory information to be filled? That is to be filled. Without that, you cannot go ahead. So those informations are demanded. Now, once you add it, the receipt, if you want to take a printout, you can print it. Now I said no. So the receipt is generated for this particular child whose name you are collecting, Alicia Raj. Now the receipt is generated. Now if you wish to see Alicia Raj account again, this message is coming because there is some outstanding in the previous session also, which is not carried over. Alicia, as you can see now, this is showing third installment to remaining amount is showing. The first and second installments are already received. That amount is shown in green, yellow here, 49,750. So this way you get the information. Now, as I told, the previous the amount which is collected is also showed over here. So this is how the fees collection module works. Now, to move to the next, we can to refund. The refunds also for some after some caution money amount refunded or some excess amount collected, and if there is a refund to be made, you can select the child's name. Then whichever, if it is a caution amount to be refunded or deposit, security deposit, or whatever the amount you wanted to deposit, you can say this much amount is refunded to the parent. And here under the receipt, I forgot to explain one more thing, like see, out of the 23,250, if you wish to pay some 250 rupees or 3,250 rupees concession, or as a instant rebate, you wish to provide any amount, you can just have it mentioned over here. So that now for this particular case, 23,250 will be received under tuition fee, but out of which 3,250 is a rebate offered to the parent. So the same way, the refund also can be mentioned over here. You can add and generate a refund voucher. Now we have got a bank reconciliation option where the amount collected to the bank, if the check is bounced, you can mention a bounce date and bounce charge. So once you save it, automatically this bounce charge will be debited to the student account, and the 50,000 receipt will be ignored. That will be written off and the amount 50, suppose 250 rupees is your bounce charge, 50,250 will be debit back in the student account. That debit will be raised again. So this way we have got a bank reconciliation system, and it can be used in two different ways. One thing is, unless the bank reconciliation is done, the amount won't be the bank collection won't be affecting the student collection. Otherwise, immediately it can affect the student account, but when the check is bounced, you can pass an entry so that the amount is reversed to the student account. Then there is a procedure of a daily closing on which completes the transaction dates, which according to which the postings to the financial accounting software is done. Then this option is for the fees modification. Scholarship option is available on which all children the scholarship is given, and how much is the amount offered, and all those things comes in here. Now, auto debit late fees, export to Tally. Our software is integrated, can be integrated with the Tally accounting software. The people who are already using Tally and who is not willing to switch their accounting software into Scholastic ERP. Otherwise, Scholastic has its own accounting software which has got the complete books, balance up to the balance sheet. You can have the complete financial records maintained in Scholastic. But for those people who are already using Tally, familiar with Tally, and they don't want to switch from Tally to any other software, they can continue using Tally, and they can shift the accounts, means the receipt and the other information, refunds or such information posted to Tally by integrating scholarships with the Tally.